What's up everybody? Today I wanna share a story which I already posted a video about this story way back then when I posted vlogs going to the gym with my friends, but I unlisted the video and you may wonder why. It's not because of the embarrassment, it's just because the video was very shitty. I thought that such a story deserved high quality and I didn't deliver on that video. In fact, that video was ass. And if you may think that it is because of the embarrassment, I'm gonna share some facts about myself that will prove otherwise. Well, I know I may not sound like it, but I was once a virgin. In fact, I was born a virgin. And if you dig deeper, I can tell you. Well, I was born crying and naked in front of my whole family. Can you imagine that? My family saw me crying and naked when I was born. They saw me at my lowest, and instead of supporting me, they were always smiling and laughing at me. So, ever since I was a kid, I already knew how to deal with embarrassment. So, being born shaped the way I saw embarrassment. So yeah, now that you know I don't get embarrassed for shit, I will share this great piece of story with you, so bear with me. Well, back in 2019, when I was playing Fortnite and Rainbow Six Siege, pretty much every day, some GTA as well. GTA Online was pretty cool. We had the arena and we were doing the car glitch. So I was selling cars every fucking day just to get 1.8 million just to farm that money, because you know, back in the day we didn't have Caio Perico, so we had to bust our asses to get money. Back to that time, I was about to have a school trip, and holy shit, school trips were the best thing that could happen during a weekday in our fucking school, because you know, who the fuck wants to have geography, history and math on the same school day? That was way too boring. Like having to go to school at 7 a.m. and staying there until 1 p.m. that shit sucked. And that was back in Brazil, so I did have to attend every single class. I couldn't really skip shit, because if you skipped, you would have to provide the school with a doctor's note, which it wasn't easy to get, especially if you were bullshitting. You can't just bullshit an excuse and expect the doctor to believe. Maybe if the doctor is a G, or if you have a doctor in your family, but essentially, my father wouldn't let me do this shit because my father didn't want me to become a bum. That's why the school trip was amusing me. Not only me, but everyone else. And I was very excited to go. In fact, me and my friend had already agreed to go together on the bus, because you know, we would hire a fucking big ass bus. Everything was all set, you know, everyone was happy and shit. But then one thing happened. All of a sudden I started to feel something in my balls, you know, and I didn't use them that much. In fact, I didn't use them at all back then. So why the fuck were my balls hurting? You know, why such pain? You know, all I did every fucking day was to play Rainbow Six Siege and Fortnite, sometimes GTA. So why? I barely even went to the bathroom. I didn't move at all. I was just like lying down playing video games. And then I had to go to the doctor, because imagine if I had to cut my ball off because I didn't go to the doctor. It's better to be safe than sorry, you know? Better to have the doctor check that shit out and just tell me I'm good to go. And that I did. I remember once I got to the hospital, I had to do some procedures which were pretty embarrassing. I remember my father laughing at my face when the doctor was, you know, doing the x-ray on my balls. I don't know if it's x-ray, like ultrasound. I think it's ultrasound. They were doing that shit on my balls. I was feeling very shitty. And my dad was watching, he was laughing at my face, and I couldn't do shit because, you know, I'm not in a position to do shit. I just have to accept the inglorious fate I was in. But to be fair, there was one thing that made me happy. I was watching PSG play, and that was back when Neymar and Mbappe were playing for PSG. Thiago Silva was also there, so that was such a great team. And you may not know, but I fucking glazed Neymar. By the way, if Ancelotti doesn't call him to the national team, I'm gonna get fucking mad, okay? As a Brazilian myself, I can confidently say, if Neymar is not there, we are fucked. I mean, we're fucked either way, but like, with Neymar, we have hope. We have a decent team, but we haven't had really much time to prepare. We had like 6 months with Ancelotti. So bro, just bring Neymar and let's hope for the best, you know? Like, may God bless us and like, we win that shit. But yeah, back to what I was saying, and watching Neymar really made me feel happy, because Neymar and Mbappe back then were such a great duo before they had their downfall. So that kind of made my day. I don't remember if that was PSG against Real Madrid or Galatasaray, but it was one of those games that PSG would just explode the other team. I once thought it was PSG and Borussia Dortmund, but that game was before COVID, right before COVID, so I don't think that was the case, but just have in mind, it was one of those games. And so I got diagnosed with something that I do not remember exactly, but basically my balls were swollen and I had to be at rest, which was okay because again, my daily routine was go to school, come back and just play Fortnite and Rainbow Six Siege the whole day. And since I got a problem in my bollocks, I just had a free pass to skip school, so I got a doctor's note. So that was a good thing. But I wouldn't be able to go to school trip probably, so I thought I would have to give my best and swallow my pain to go there, and that I did. Well, I gotta mention though, when I came back from the doctor, I remember talking to my friends on the Xbox party, and we were talking. I was like, oh, fuck you guys have to go to school because my balls are very swollen. I don't have to go to school. In fact, I'm gonna be playing Fortnite while you all have to listen to a fucking geography class. Suck my balls even though they're swollen. You know, I was this kind of person. You know, I was pretty much an asshole back then. But poor me, I didn't know that such behavior would have consequences. I think God made me pay for what I said. Because yes, I did play a lot of Fortnite. I remember the skin I was wearing. I can't describe the skin, but I remember that my friend's little brother bought that shit on my account because I went to my friend's house and we were playing on my account. And my fucking friend fucking gaslit his brother to buy it. So I had that skin, I was using it. So, you know, it wasn't that bad. I got kind of reimbursed by my friend's parents. They felt bad and they just gave me the money back, but I still had the skin. So I have this memory, I think because this story is so delightful. I remember with a lot of details. But yeah, I did play a lot of Fortnite and Rainbow Six Siege, but the day came, you know, the day I had to go to a school trip, and I was like, despite the pain, I am going. And I wasn't feeling much pain at that time, you know. It had been some days since I was fucked up. I remember being dropped out at school, and I remember stepping out of my car. As soon as I walked, my balls were just in so much pain. So I shamefully came back to the car, and I told my mom that, you know, I wouldn't be able to bear such pain. I don't think that any human being deserves to feel what I felt. So we drove back to our home, and I texted my friend. I said, my bad, G, you will have to be by yourself on this one because my balls are not cooperating with the situation. And I came back and played Rainbow Six Siege and GTA. I mean, that was my life. And I remember my friend took some time to reply, and he very sadly replied, oh, it's okay, how are your balls? I felt his pain, you know, even though my balls were about to explode. His heart exploded because he had to go by himself on the bus, and usually when you are by yourself, the teachers will sit next to you, which means you can't just talk to others and talk a lot of shit. You have to behave, and behaving yourself on that fucking bus, which is hot as shit because it's usually summer, is not a good task to do because, you know, you have to be sitting down sweating and you can't talk to anyone. That sucks, and usually the teachers want to sit on the aisle, not on the seat that is next to the window, so you're also stuck. You can't really keep leaving the seat to go to the bathroom to talk with your friends. So I kind of fucked him up. I'm very sorry if he's watching this video. I'm sorry, G. That's all my balls though. I couldn't really do shit, you know. My balls are stronger than me. And the sad thing is that was like always this chaperone. He was part of the bus. I think he was an extension of the bus, honestly. His company was the one that rented the bus to the school, so he would always go to the trips with us. He was very fun. He was a troll and I couldn't see him. I never saw him again. So I don't know how he's doing, and I would never know because of my balls, even though I did play a lot of video games and that was a fun part. That's my story. I don't think that there is any other further detail I could share. It's just that I missed a very good school trip because my bollocks didn't want to cooperate, and honestly I think that taught me a lot, that made me be who I am, that shaped me in a very good way, because now whenever I see my balls. I remember that I felt a very very shitty pain. So I'm always grateful that they're healthy and rounded over there, and so I take care of my body much better now. So I think that's the lesson I learned. And also that playing Fortnite, GTA, and Rainbow Six Siege was such a good activity. Nowadays it might not be, especially because the three games are pretty much done low key. Like Rainbow Six, I hope it will come back. They released Solid Snake, so that was good. But GTA, you can't play public lobbies anymore because you're gonna get exploded. And Fortnite, I don't even know what's going on with Fortnite anymore at this point. But back then, oh boy, it's like that old saying from The Office. I wish there was a way that we could know we were in the good days before we left them or some shit like that. So I really wish I could know. Yeah, but I guess that's it. Goodbye.